important for you guys to follow our channel, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified immediately as we go on live. Also, like the channel and subscribe to the Niner Sickness podcast show so that you will be informed all there is to know about our San Francisco 49ers without being biased. Here we tell you the raw truth. We tell you what we think of what's going on with our team. Not being biased, a lot like all the haters out there in ESPN and NFL Network and First Take, and you got all these so-called social media outlets that just hate the 49ers. So hating on Jimmy G, hating on a lot of things. While here we come and we talk the truth, but mostly positive about our 49ers and in the direction they are going in. So I'm expecting a couple of my guys to come in tonight and join me as we go. Once again, we want to apologize for the late start. Hope everybody's had a wonderful couple of days from the weekend. Hope you guys are dealing and handling the whole situation with the virus the best that you possibly can with your friends, family, and loved ones. I continue to send out my prayers for those that have been sick, that have been affected by this virus. My condolences to those that have been lost, and my heart breaks for those that are not doing so good. As for me, by the grace of God, I am doing great. It has not affected me. I've been doing my part. I've been staying home for the most part, only going out when need to go out to get the essentials at the supermarket or so forth. Other than that, I stay home, and me and the wife, we stay home and we try to, do what we got to do here at the house and try to be the best that we can here. What's up, Christian Carver, brother? Welcome to the Niner Sickness Show. How you doing, bro? So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of football. We're going to talk about the NFL draft. We're going to talk about the possibility of trading down from the 13th spot. I know many of you are looking forward in getting a receiver, as so am I. You guys want a CeeDee Lamb, a Jerry Jeudy, or a Henry Ruggs from Alabama. But would it be in the most best interest to trade down from the 13th spot if the right proposition presented itself? If the right team came up to the San Francisco 49ers and called John Lynch on the day of the draft and say, hey, John Lynch, this is the Miami Dolphins, and we're looking to get a certain player that we want that is still on the board, and we're trying to get ahead of the Buccaneers. And let's say they present a very good, lucrative offer for us. Even though CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy is still on the table, would you be willing to trade down and accumulate more draft picks and find that potential receiver that can complement Deebo Samuel in the second round? So my question to you guys, the faithful, what would be the type of deal that can present itself that we just cannot refuse? What's up, Richard Bryan? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the Niner Sickness Show. I appreciate you guys, your faithfulness. Remember to like, share, and hit the subscribe so that you in the notifications, so you will be notified each and every time we go live. So what would be a lucrative deal that overwhelms us, and we say, even though there's Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb still available. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the Dolphins. I'm gonna look at the Dolphins and their draft picks. So I'm gonna look at the Dolphins and their draft picks. Let's see here. Let me see. Dolphins and their draft picks. Give me a second. 2020 draft picks. Let's see what they have. Okay. So the Miami Dolphins, they have the 3rd overall. Let me see here. Make sure I get this correct. Let's see what Richard says. I'll be willing to trade back. There's other receivers that we can get in the 2nd round, so we can get their 18th, 2nd, and 3rd, or 4th. That's interesting. It is. I like that. Okay, here we go. So they got the 18th overall pick from the Steelers for the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. Okay, and they have the 26th, which they got for the Laremy Tunsil and Kenny Skills trade. 2nd round, they have the 39 overall, which is their own, and they have a 56 overall. 3rd round, they have a 70 overall, and a 4th pick, 141 overall. So if the Dolphins came knocking on the door, I said, hey, look, John Lynch, we are willing to give you our 18th overall pick, our 56, not 39, but 56 2nd round, our 70 3rd round, and 153 5th round. Would you guys take it? Again, they get our 13 and one of our 6 rounds. We get their 18th overall, 56 overall, 70 overall, and 153 in the 5th round. Is that lucrative enough, or in your opinion, like, no way? No. I will not trade down from the 13th spot, especially if CeeDee Lamb is available or Jerry Jeudy is available. I will not trade down unless they offer me their 18th overall, their 39th overall, and their 141, which is their 18th 1st round, their 2nd round pick, which is the 39th, and their 4th round. Which would be more lucrative? Which one would be the better deal? This is what I'm asking you, the listeners, the faithful. What would you guys do if you were the GM of the San Francisco 49ers? Would you guys take the 18th, the 56, the 70, and the 153, which is 4 picks? Or would you take the 18th, the 39, and the 141, which is 3 picks, but in the 2nd round, you get a higher pick. You just don't get a pick in the third round. Let's see here. Richard says, yes, that's a steal of a deal. I know who available. Now, so let's say we take that deal. We give our 13th and we give our 6th round, and we move down 5 spots. By moving down 5 spots, we accumulate 4 more picks. We accumulate 4 more picks. Um, yeah, I can hear you. Can you lower your background noise a little bit? Okay, guys, I'm gonna be bringing in my boy Jason Morales to join us here. Give me 1 second. What's up, Jason?
Not much, brother. What's going on with your fam? How you doing?
Good, good, good. If you can give yourself a little bit more light, if it's all possible,
Yeah. Hold on.
that way our fan base can see who you are. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, there he is.
All right.
You back?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Okay, we lost. How you doing, brother? We're just gonna come in on midday Wednesday live here on YouTube, and we're talking up potential trades
Okay.
with the 13th overall.
Okay.
Uh, I know a lot of people want receivers. A lot of people. I don't know what your status is in that 13th pick.
Right.
A lot of people want receivers. A lot of people want CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Judy,
Right.
Henry Ruggs. And what I was saying right now, prior to you coming on board, is if those 3 receivers were available at 13, but the Dolphins came knocking on the door with a deal that we can't refuse, and we were able to accumulate more draft picks,
Right.
would you be willing to take those draft picks and move down, or would you take a top receiver
Uh,
available?
for me, for my mindset was when we made this trade was that I was pretty sure that we were going to draft receiver. The Miami Dolphins going to have to do a lot more to, sway me to trade that 13th pick. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With this draft class being deep in receivers, yeah, it's. I mean, there's literally. I mean, I think CeeDee Lamb would be that guy at 13. Just watching him at Oklahoma and stuff like that, I don't see how you can pass on him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, Now, like I said, yeah, there's talks with Miami, but Miami's gonna have to. Like from what I've heard, it doesn't really. I'm like, I'm good, but you just don't trade DeForest Buckner for the 13th pick and just give it away for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with me, if I'm John Lynch, I'm sticking with that pick, and I'm picking CeeDee Lamb with the 13th pick.
Okay. Now, very valid point. Just keep in mind, and for the viewers watching, just if I can just remind the viewers and yourself, Jason, that a couple of years ago when we were drafting and we took Solomon Thomas, even though Solomon Thomas hasn't worked out for us, but
Mm-hmm.
we were able to trade down a spot with the Chicago Bears,
Right.
and they got our second, we got their third, and by doing so, we were able to draft Reuben Foster, which did not work. I mean, we were able to go back up to get Reuben
Right.
Foster, which didn't work out, but we were able to get a 5th round as well. And as you guys
Uh-huh.
know, with that 5th round, we took Kittle.
Yeah. And that right there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to downplay whatever, but getting Kittle was definitely, a stroke of luck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that
Okay.
was just crazy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we can't expect to do that every year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
if we have, for me, if we have a receiver right there who's a big receiver, it's also he's not gonna, you know he's not gonna blow you away with the speed. He's fast, but if you have a receiver right there like that, like CeeDee Lamb, who's 6'2", you know what I mean, like what 200 something pounds. He's quick. You know what I mean. I mean, how can you not? How can you pass up on him? And then if you draft him alongside the weapons we have already with Debo Samuel, and then with Jalen Hurd coming back, Trent Taylor. We don't know, but Trent Taylor might be coming back. You know what I mean? So it's just like I think last year we were really showing that we do need that number one receiver. I mean, everyone's talking about we did fine with no receiver. Yeah, we did fine with no receiver, but then again, in the big game when we needed that big receiver, I mean, to me, CD's that guy.
Okay. Now,
No,
and that's a great thought process, and that's a great. We do need a receiver,
right,
and we. Well, I don't know if we. Let me rephrase. I don't know if we need a receiver, but it would be
right,
nice to have one in the arsenal.
right,
The last time we had a receiver that any defenses had to really plan for was, in my
hmm
opinion, Terrell Owens
hmm
was the last big receiver that any defenses
yes,
would lose sleep over
right,
when they played our offense. But
right,
with that said, based on what we saw with Debo Samuel
hmm
last year, do you believe that it's although it's great to have a Julio Jones type of receiver
right,
on our offense, but we can see that any receiver that is able to run routes and
hmm
separate
right.
works in the Shanahan system. So, do we really need a CD Lamb for say?
Excuse me.
Can we find another receiver in the second, third round, fourth round if we accumulate those rounds and utilize them in our system and be effective?
Okay. I, and to me, yeah, I mean, if we, for some reason, okay, so we say we trade the 13th pick to Miami, that's good, okay. You know, Lamb is gone, Judy is gone, Ruggs is gone. There's another receiver that I'm kind of interested in, and kind of like, you know, uh, I'll probably want to see him in our system. Is Justin Jefferson from LSU? They ran a pro
Okay.
style. They ran a pro style offense in LSU with Joe Burrow. Justin Jefferson. Again, me, I like big receivers. Sorry, I grew up on the J.J. Stokes, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? Era where they're 6'2", 6'3". You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
so if we were ever if we pass on those three receivers, and if Justin Jefferson is there, I wouldn't mind at all if that was a second option at receiver was Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
So
And that's I do like him. I like him or Mims. Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims that's a sleeper one right there. I see you see that right there. That I think you got something going on with Denzel Mims. See, because he's a sleeper. No one really knows him until what I mean. Like you really type in his highlights and stuff like that, and check the numbers, check the stats and stuff. He's a sleeper pick, but also a person that would work well in the Shanahan system.
Correct. And just to kind of point the view of what you're saying, and for the viewers,
hmm
let me ask you and the viewers that are watching, and everybody that is joining the Nine of Sickness podcast show. Welcome to the show. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell here on YouTube so that you'll be notified whenever we go on and do lives and speak about our 49ers. Now, with
Yes,
that
sir.
said, now let me ask you something, Jason. What is your thoughts, your personal thoughts of Debo Samuel and what he did last year?
I I love how we use Debo Samuel on the gadget plays, like on the end arounds and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But for me, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like if we get a number one receiver, it's going to open up the field for Debo, and I think we I wouldn't say underutilized him last year. It's just that we I was like, all right, well, how are we going to get him the ball and stuff was the end arounds because if we were to try and pass him the ball, we haven't really. He's really like he's really the number one receiver, and right now he's not that number one guy. And so I don't
Okay.
think he would be able to get open. He'd do the short slants and stuff like that. But for from what I've seen is we use him more as a gadget play. If we get a big receiver, then that would open up more more routes for Debo Samuel to run. And I think if that were the case, he'd just get open and he's money with hands, bro. Like and you just see double the touchdowns from him. You know what I mean? If we get that number one receiver.
Okay, and that's a very good point there, Jason. The reason why I bring that up because as much as we love Debo Samuel
Mm-hmm.
and what he did for the 49ers and the way he was
Yeah.
utilized,
Right.
The receivers, other than DK Metcalf, that went after Debo
Right.
to Seattle, which a lot of people slept on. He's pretty good too. But a lot of
Yes.
people took Marquise Brown to the Baltimore Ravens. A.J. Brown went to Tennessee. Now, A.J. Brown, uh, he lit it up.
Right.
But
Right.
then
Right.
you got Terry McMurray that went to the Washington Redskins. My point being is a lot of these receivers that went in the first round or in the earlier rounds were
Right.
not, or projected to go early,
Right.
were
Right.
not
Right.
really as good as what Debo, except the exception of A.J. Brown and Decaf. Both
Right.
of those did pretty good, but the rest of them, like Marquise and all these that were projected or went before Debo, were
Right.
not as good as Debo Samuel. So
Correct.
that's my thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a receiver of the caliber of CD Lamb. I've been hearing as much as a lot of people have been talking about Jerry Judy, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring in my boy and Mike in a minute. As many people have been talking about Jerry Judy, he's a very good runner, but that's all he does.
Yeah, my thing is like, yeah, he's a great route runner, but where's the separation when you need it? You know what I mean? And that's the one thing
Yes,
I'm worried about. That's the only thing I'm worried about him. He's a great, like you said, great route runner. Yeah, great. You know, hands are there. It's just the separation. Like when we need that big play, would be to get that separation down the field on the post or end route. You know what I mean? So that's
and
just my thing.
yeah, they're saying that CeeDee Lamb by far is the best receiver, and then after him, believe it or not, it's not Jerry Judy from Alabama, but it's Henry
Henry
Ruggs.
Ruggs.
It's
Yeah.
better receiver than
Oh
Jerry.
wow.
Yeah, but real quick
Okay.
before we go further, our boy San Francisco Fort Lauderdale
Yeah.
Mike just popped
Yeah.
in. What's up,
Mike.
Mike?
Hey,
What's
what's
going
going on, my
on?
bros? How you guys doing, man? How y'all doing?
Man, good to finally meet you, bro. Seen you on a
Yeah,
couple shows, man. What's up with you, bro?
man, much love, man. Glad to see you on here too, my brother.
Oh man, thank y'all for having me, man. It's great.
Yeah,
Oh man, of
this is our
course.
boy Jason, man. He's one of
Yes,
the
sir.
trios. One of the trios, man. One of the boys.
Big shout out to Jason, man.
What's going on with y'all, man?
He's doing his thing, man. So we were as you jumped in, Mike. We were talking about having the 13th overall as we do. Um, I was stating that if all three receivers were available at 13, but Miami came calling with an offer that was pretty lucrative, which would be pretty good. I mean, offering us maybe their 39, their 70, and their 143, which is their second, third, and fourth overall this year's draft. Would you be willing to take that capital and try to find another receiver that is not a not top receiver, but maybe the one that finds our system and find other holes? Or would you say, you know what, someone like CeeDee Lamb is just too good to pass. So regardless of what Miami offers us, we're just going to go ahead and proceed and take that receiver with the 13 overall. If you were the GM, Mike.
So we're talking about giving up our 13th for those picks.
Yeah, for their 18 overall. Let me read them real quick, just to make
No,
sure.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
they're pretty much their 18. Their
hmm
second, 39, which is a top high two. They're 70, and then third, and then 143, 153, which is their fifth.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about a wide receiver, if that's the position that we're locked in on, um, I personally wouldn't mind trading back for a receiver. I don't know enough about the receivers at the collegiate level. I learned a long time ago. Don't judge a book by its cover. As we got a guy by the name of George Kittle, who was a fifth rounder that nobody talked about coming out of the draft. So all these guys that we're talking about today, when they get into the league, we're going to be talking about third, fourth rounders. It always happens, especially when it's in receiver, probably some second rounders, especially when it's a deep draft like this. So I'm not so certain that the top echelon of receivers are any that much greater than what's out there because it's a deep draft with receivers. They say so. For me personally, I want to keep the 13th pick. I honestly don't want to go wide receiver, and I'm only saying that based on the limited knowledge that I have of them. You know, I'm not a expertise on the receivers, but I will say I'm an expertise on what the Niners need as a position, and I just don't. I'm not really keen on getting a receiver first. That's just me.
Okay, and it's valid. I mean, we all have our thought process. As fans, we all have what we think what we would like as fans, and what we think is
Mm-hmm.
best for the team. Now, see, with me and everybody's different, but with me, there's the two parts of me. There's the what I believe is best for the team, and
Mm-hmm.
even though it may go against what I want, and then there's the Niner sickness desire, if I may call it, where I want a certain player because I covenant that player and I like that player, so I would love him on the team. But then there's the other side of me, whereas the rational part of me is like, okay, all right, let me get my head out of the clouds and let me sit back and say, okay, what what is best for the team and going
Mm.
forward? Because we know that even though these top receivers are great and very productive in college, but they're not guaranteed to turn out to be a Jerry Rice or a Terrell Owens or a Julio Jones. We've seen what happened with Solomon Thomas, third overall
Yeah.
pick, and he's a pretty much a bust.
Well,
So
hold on. Can I interrupt you real quick, Beto,
yeah,
on that topic? I know Solly hasn't been the dude that gets like 15 sacks or whatever, but last year he showed improved. You know, he showed us some improvement. So hopefully, with Buckner gone and Solly, you know, getting more playing time, I'm hoping he takes what he did last year into this season and he starts balling, bro. Because I think he's ready. He's ready to. I know you guys have been wanting him to, but I know he's ready to ball out. So hopefully this year this is where he shows that you know that he was worth that third pick. So
I
that's
hope
all I
so.
wanted to say. That's
No,
all I
no,
wanted
no,
to say
and
about
that's
that. Yeah.
great. And don't get me wrong. I'm not a Stanford guy, but I'm locally close to Stanford, so I watch a lot of Stanford football.
Right.
So I watch a lot of Solomon Thomas,
Right.
and I know that John Lynch coming in to the Niners organization, first time
Yeah.
being a GM,
Yeah.
he's trying to figure everything out. He wanted to go with a safe
Pick. Yeah.
pick, and he even though he don't know too much about Thomas, he's an alumni. He's a Stanford guy.
Yeah. Alumni. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So
in my thought process, he went with someone, and he got a lot of information from a school that he's familiar with, and
right.
he went with Solomon Thomas. Now, Solomon Thomas, you know, here and there, and I understand what you're saying. Hopefully he'll show some progress, but being that he was a high third overall pick, and I understand
Right.
situations happen with his
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
life, his sister, you know, which is tragic,
Right.
and you know a lot of things he's gone through. But I'm hoping you're right, Jason. I'm hoping that with the absence of DeForest Buckner, if Solomon steps up in 2020, it will be
Hmm.
great because
Yeah.
even though we lost a first rounder,
Right.
we still have first rounders across the board.
Exactly. And with like with how Bosa and Ford were playing last year, I think it was just those two were like the energy for for the D line, and you can see how everyone just played on because you see the year before we had the same linemen, but when we signed Ford and Bosa, I mean and drafted Bosa, those dudes, all them dudes on the line balled out. So that's what I'm thinking, and you know. I'm still sticking with Solly, so hopefully he shows up this year.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. What's your thoughts on that, Mike, on Solomon Thomas? Where are you on personally with Solomon? Do you feel that you know what? Let's give him another year. Are you ready to crucify him? Are you willing to pass the bread and hopefully he's able to do something for us in 2020? What's your thought process on Solomon Thomas, Mike?
Well, I'm gonna always be consistent. I think Solomon Thomas is since he's been here, has been surrounded by a plethora of talent. You know, with DeForest Buckner and then Eric Armstead. Even though Eric Armstead was hurt, he came on last year, and each year Solomon Thomas seemed to get a little better. But we got to be understanding too. Solomon Thomas was also out of position most of his career. Really wasn't
Exactly.
until this year that he started playing what
Like
he can
inside.
normally excel in. So we have to ask ourselves: has he really been given the opportunity to succeed based on what he brings to the table as opposed to what the team needed him to do for the team? And the
Right.
reality is, last year was his first time really playing his position. However, he was crowded on a defensive line that was so talented. So I think this year will be a little bit more judgment room to see him because now that DeForest Buckner is with that other team over there, and I forgot their name, Naptown,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
because I sleep on them. They're Naptown, right? So
Hmm.
now that he's no longer with us, I think that guys in the rotation have more opportunities, and maybe this year Solomon Thomas might improve and do what we're hoping to see, or at least give some more production for the fans. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
throw him to the wolves like most people. I'm gonna
Right.
see what he does this year. For me,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you think he'll definitely? You think he'll be challenged by DJ Jones, a player that if he stays healthy, personally, I like better than Solomon Thomas.
Mm.
To plug in the middle, he's a bigger body. Um, I just like the DJ Jones type of play. The sad thing about him is he can't stay
Stay
healthy,
healthy.
man.
Right.
And Solomon Thomas, again, he's in high investment. So if he becomes a Javon, what's his name?
Javadion
Devin Clowney,
Clowney. Yeah.
who started late in his career.
Right.
After I think his fourth season, he stepped up, and he starts playing better. Hopefully, with the absence of like you said, with the absence of DeForest Buckner, now he's going to step up into a role that he's comfortable playing with. Because I believe they're going to move Eric Armstead to that side where DeForest Buckner was,
Yeah.
and they're going to put Solomon where on the opposite side next to D Ford and keep him there. And you're right, Mike, and you got both of you guys are right. He did come in, and because we were lacking pass rushers, because we didn't have a D Ford, we didn't have a Nick Bosa drafted, we had to accumulate some type of pressure, being that Solomon Thomas is a first rounder. They try to move him over to a DE from a tackle and have him pass rush, and I don't think he has the. I think it was just too much a learning curve for him to learn. Then he has to learn the system, the defense. He has to learn a new position. Then he's going through the trauma of losing his sister, and I believe it was just a lot of chaos in his life, man. So hopefully, this year will be the year that, like you guys said, that we can sincerely judge him based on his activity on the field, and hopefully he'll win the hearts of many Niner fans. Because if he does, and he don't have to do much, man. I think if he can do, I think if he can get 6 to 7 sacks, for him, will be good in my opinion.
Yeah, 6.5, 7 sacks. That's cool. As long as you just make the play, bro. Just make a play. That's all we ask. You know what I mean?
He does overshoot a lot, though. If you watch a lot of his, he overshoots the quarterback, man. I mean, it's like the quarterback jukes to the left, and there goes Solomon to the right. And I'm like, dude, you had him in your grab. You know what I mean? You see Solomon turn around, you see the quarterback take off, or he over. So hopefully he'll work on those techniques, man, and he'll definitely be a player for us.
Definitely,
because we have a good line, man. We with D Ford coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Armstead getting better, and then adding the addition of Nick Bosa. But most importantly, for me, better than Nick Bosa and the addition of D Ford is Kirk Caceres, our D line coach. Bringing him a dog like that to guide those front guys in the front was critical to me. I think that he was what brought up Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead prior to him couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean. He couldn't do much, and he started to do better in 2018. And then you bring Caceres in, and arguably has the best year of his career, 10 sacks. You know what I mean. So I'm looking forward to see more what Eric can do. So hopefully he can continue to work with Solomon Thomas and motivate him. But do you guys think that we still, with all that said, do you guys think that we still should draft another defensive lineman in the 5th or round, or if we accumulate a couple more picks in the 3rd and 4th? Do you guys still think we should pick up another player just in case he doesn't work out?
Oh, good, Mike.
Well, to be honest with you, man, it depends on the quality of the player that's there. I mean, I learned a long time ago that it's challenging to draft a player by the name brand that they have in college, as opposed to what the team needs. Because Mike McGlinchey is a perfect example. The year we drafted Mike McGlinchey, we had a lot of fans wanting other players, nobody really had Mike McGlinchey on the radar.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
yeah,
and when the team drafted him, they saw how it vastly improved our O line play, helping Garoppolo have more protection. And see, that's where I'm at. It's
hmm
rare that you'll hear me say I want this player unless someone asks me and we just having fun with the show. But if you're
right,
asking me from a general manager perspective or Florida Mike perspective, I'm going to tell you I think the team needs to invest in the O line again, get that Staley replacement going. If it's in this draft, if they can get a good lineman in 13, like the best available lineman that is a game changer, if they see that, I say go for it now. And that way we got more protection for Garoppolo, more quality depth,
hmm
and somebody we can build for the future. Because I feel if our O line can protect Garoppolo, all the criticism that he had with passing, which I don't see why he had criticism. He led the team to a Super Bowl. You can look at our record without Garoppolo versus
right.
with Garoppolo and see how great we are. When you got clowns on ESPN, I don't like saying his name, but he know who he is. He always yelling at the top of his
So,
throat. You know what I'm talking about?
oh yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
He on
So
that one show. He on that one show. I got you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't call him Steven. His name is Stefan to me. So that
Or
guy wants to
yeah.
criticize Garoppolo, who almost threw for 4,000 passing yards. I don't see how you could say he can't pass. That's why I don't listen
I,
to those clowns.
I just don't get it, man. That just scratched my head. Like the dude was solid. If you look at our record before him, you know what I mean. So,
Right.
um, but I feel you like that year we got my boy McGlinchey because I'm an Irish fan. So in that draft, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Tremaine Edmonds, but when we
Yeah.
got
That's
McGlinchey,
who I wanted.
yeah, and when McGlinchey,
Linebacker.
yeah, linebacker, he went to Buffalo, and when we got
Yep.
McGlinchey, I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I was kind of like shocked, but like happy at the same time because I was like, oh my boy's a Niner, that's cool. And then seeing how McGlinchey progressed and everything, and how it helped our O line, and with Staley, with him under Staley's wing and stuff, and how that O line was just progressing and getting better and better. I was like, okay, now let's not. To me, I was like, okay, well, John Lynch is not all about the sexy pick. He's trying to see, okay, what's that piece to help improve. And so I was like, okay. So for me, I mean, I like CeeDee Lamb, but I think with going the other way, I think from John Lynch and the GM standpoint, I think he might go O line. Thinking Andrew Thomas from Georgia, a tackle that could, you know what I mean, that's been pretty solid. So, I mean, I feel what you're saying, Mike. I mean, not all about the sexy pick. It's like, how can you get that pick and help it, like, help what side of the ball? Like, how can that player help on what side of the ball? So, um, yeah, for me, like you asked me, I'm like, okay, I want to see the Lamb, but I think we might go either O line or D line with that 13th pick.
And make no mistake about it. Like I'm not saying that I'm against a receiver at 13 because the fact that you're gonna have people on here who are like, oh, Mike don't want a receiver. Mike wants a receiver, but Mike also want the best available player in a
Right,
position that I value higher than receiver. I feel like this draft is so deep we can get a receiver whenever.
right,
But
right,
but an old lineman that's great. That could be great for us in quality. I'm looking at protecting Garoppolo because I feel that Garoppolo has more maximum protection in the pass and the run game is going.
right.
I think he's going to be better than last year. I think he's going to be
Mhm.
putting up numbers like people are going to be like, damn, Garoppolo looks even better. And it's like our passing game will take off more because I'm looking at improvement in other facets that this team could have done. And I feel like our passing game was good, but I feel like we can take it to another level with better blocking. I feel
Yeah,
like the trench is where it's at. You know what I mean? But
and we're a run team, so man, I feel you on that. And that year we drafted with Ayupati and that I'm not even gonna say his name because he just quit on us. But anyways,
Oh,
like
Anthony Davis. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I don't, yeah, yeah, that dude. Yeah, I mean, if we could pull something off where we can get something like that, that'd be great. Because I know we released Persons, and then Richburg. I mean, he was solid, but he's coming from a serious injury. So, um, more and more, I'm thinking O line might be the pick we go with at 13, which is great. You know what I mean? Or at 31. I mean, it all depends, but we're probably gonna dress a lineman in the first round. So
Yeah. Just a piggyback a little bit on what Mike said about Garoppolo and Stephen A. and his first take, crap, and hating on Jimmy Garoppolo. Listen, did Jimmy Garoppolo make some bonehead plays? Yes. Did he make some plays that in the Super Bowl that you can sit there and go, what the heck was he thinking?
right,
Yes. But what people need to realize and understand This is his first year playing a full season. Even
Mhm.
though he's been in the NFL for a while, he hasn't been a starter. And people need to realize being a backup or holding a clipboard and actually being in the field, taking live ammunition fire by defenses and doing it yourself is two different things. Yes, he was under Tom Brady for 4 years, but Tom Brady was taking all the pressure. Tom Brady was making all the calls. Brady was making all the reads of the defense. Garoppolo wasn't. Garoppolo is learning to find who he is. He needs to find his niche of what kind of quarterback he's going to be.
Mhm.
And listen, guys, for his first year running the system completely, he took us to the Super Bowl, not a playoff game, and lost,
Mhm.
but took us all the way to the Super Bowl with 7 minutes to go, ahead by two scores, and possibly could have won that game. Other things went wrong, and we know the result. But my
Mhm.
point being is, a whole year of Garoppolo, almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns to a 13 interception. Okay, he gotten better throughout the season. So I just don't understand where all the hate comes from. Yes, that the couple of reads, like if to that ball to Emmanuel Sanders, he overthrew him. If he would have threw a little bit, if he would have dropped it better, it would have been a touchdown. You know what? Listen, he's playing first year, his first Super Bowl. He had a lot of. I mean, people can be so judgmental watching a player play on TV,
Mhm.
but it's a whole different story if you're the one being run around and being chased by this big ass offensive lineman. But if you look at the stats, when he is when I like to call it clean pocket, his percentage is very good. His pass percentage on a clean pocket than it is when he's under duress. Any quarterback can make mistakes under duress. When they keep him clean and they keep him in the pocket, he makes some really good plays. So to piggyback on what Mike said, I agree. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to get even better next season because the
Mhm.
mistakes that he made in 2019, he's not going to make as much in 2020. Quarterbacks become pros because they learn from their mistakes. They adapt to what they see on the field. They find their niche and they get to know who they are. He's still trying to find his identity as a Niner and as a quarterback, and he's getting there. So Niner fans need to be patient with him. I don't understand the right away. We lost the Super Bowl, so now we need to trade him for Tom Brady, or we need to trade him for Cam
That's
Newton. Cam Newton now is available. We need. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Niner fans. I'm not, but it's like, man, are you guys married or single? Because like, shit, you know what I mean. Your
yeah.
wife has a bad year, and you're ready to trade her for another woman. You know what I mean. You
Right.
got to work. You got to work it out. You know what I mean. You got to work things out. And so, um, in my opinion, Jimmy Garoppolo did not have a bad year. He had a very good year.
Yeah.
He could have just done better if he was more experienced on what to do in certain situations. He will get there, guys. But I again, and I'm gonna let you guys take it from here. I do agree that the 60th pick is a receiver or a defensive lineman. But if we go tackle, don't be surprised because we need a tackle to put as a guard, and then once Staley retires, we can move him from
Moving
guard to
back.
tackle, and then we're set in that offensive line. Again, those picks are not beautiful. They're not sexy,
But
but they're
they work.
necessary.
They help exactly.
Because if you have, even if okay, let's say we have a CD Lamb, but if Jimmy Garoppolo was under duress and he can't throw the ball to him, who cares what
Exactly.
receiver you have and how good the
Mhm.
receiver is and how
Right.
open he gets because he's a good route runner. But if
You ain't got no
Jimmy G
time. Yeah.
can't no time to throw him the ball, it don't
Right.
matter. Now,
Right.
if you get two average receivers that are pretty good, not the best, but they're good, and you get a quarterback that has time. I'm telling you, a good quarterback with enough time can make any receiver look like a number one on that, especially with the offense that Kyle Shanahan runs. So Niner faithful, please give time, man.
Exactly, man.
Give Jimmy another time. Don't divorce him yet, because once he looks good and starts looking sexy again in 2020, you're gonna
Mhm.
wish you never divorced him, man. So
Exactly.
stay on track, man. Stay faithful. That's why we're called the faithful.
Right.
Stay faithful. I mean, right away they want to crucify. I mean, the whole Tom Brady nonsense.
The thing is because because people are they're gonna have 137 million reasons why they hate Jimmy Garoppolo. The reason why he's not putting up 5,500 yards, he's not throwing for 45, 50 touchdowns. You know what I mean? But the dude's winning games. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but were we winning games the year before and the year before that, the year before that?
4-12 without him, and 13-3 with him.
You know what I mean? Like I don't get it, man. Like yeah, he's not gonna be he's not gonna have the sexy numbers, but as long as we get that W, that's all that matters. And he was healthy the whole season. You know what I mean? And it's just like just wait till this season. You know what I mean? We get him a good line. A couple more pieces on the O line and a couple more weapons on the outside. And watch, he's gonna make you know what I mean, those Niner fans, you know what I mean, fall back in love with them, and you know what I mean, have more bandwagoners come on, because it's just so funny to me, like all this Tom Brady talk, and then when I was reading about the Cam Newton, it's a makes sense, for him to land with the Niners. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Like Cam Newton, granted, dude's good and all, but no, I'm sticking with Jimmy G. That's my dude. I've always, you know what I mean. Like once we traded for him, I was like, let me see what this guy got. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm sticking with him. I mean, shoot, we got like a few more years with him. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, Bethel, like man, y'all be patient. You know what I'm saying? Like be cool. You know, that dynasty starts somewhere. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Jimmy G's gonna wake some people up.
Rome wasn't built in a week.
Nah, man.
It takes time, and Jimmy having another year, a full year of knowing that system, a year removed from injury, having his confidence. Jimmy's going to get a good year. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, having Jalen Hurts come in healthy, having Trent Taylor come in healthy. It's just the possibilities are endless for Jimmy Garoppolo to be that receiver. Now, if you look at a lot of the quarterbacks of this year that you consider to be a good quarterbacks, and look at their numbers, very close to what Jimmy G did. If not, Jimmy G was better, but yet people just want to hate on the Niners quarterback because I don't know if it's because of the history with the comparison of Steve Young and Joe Montana, but you can't compare those quarterbacks to Jimmy G. But if you think about it, what other quarterback has won us the first what do you call it? What's I'm looking for? In the playoffs, the number one seed. The last time we had the number one seed, what quarterback was that?
Alex Smith, I think.
No, did we have it with Alex Smith? I don't think we had the number one.
No, we didn't. We didn't. No, we didn't. Yeah,
no, you know what I mean. I think we didn't. We had we were the second number. We were the second seed.
Yeah.
I think the last time we were the number one seed was Steve Young, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
and yet Jimmy Garoppolo got us there. And people have to remember the game against the Cardinals twice. He bailed us out. That game against the Rams on that Saturday afternoon.
That Tulsa Sanders. Right?
Yeah. When he had to convert not once but twice on the same drive. What were they?
3rd and 16. 3rd and 16.
Yeah, twice on the same drive, and he converted.
Yeah.
This is Jimmy G. This is the Jimmy G that went against in hostile territory in New Orleans against arguably the best quarterback,
right?
Especially from Stephen A. That's his quarterback. It seems like that's his quarterback.
And
went toe to toe and beat him in his house. Beat him in his house. So people need to just. I can expect non-Niner fans to talk shit about Jimmy. I don't like it, but I can expect it. What hurts me as a Niner fan is when the Niner faithful are talking against Jimmy. And how they talking against Jimmy is when they bring up the Tom Brady's, when they bring up the Cam Newtons. To me, they're not directly saying Jimmy G, they don't like Jimmy G, but they're indirectly saying they don't like him. It's the same thing.
Yeah, you're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about a O-line position, okay, yeah, because there's 5 other people on the O-line. You're talking about, you want to get this quarterback. Well, we only have one quarterback position. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're talking about the quarterback that we do have is not good enough. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, yeah, Yeah, the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get to. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to. So you get there, yeah, you might not win it all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, give the dude a break. You know what I'm saying? Like he got us there. Cool. We didn't come out with the W. Fine. You know what? We learn from it. We move on. We work harder, and then we come back next season and then just ball out. So that's just kind of it is frustrating to me, man, because throughout the season, it's just like when Jimmy G is doing pretty good, you see the fans go, "Oh yeah, that's my dude," blah 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 blah. And then when we lose a game or when he throws, 2 interceptions, oh trade him, he's garbage, he's worth. I'm like, I kind of just kind of scroll up, bro. I'm just like, man, this is ridiculous, man. There's no winning with you guys, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Jimmy, do your thing, man. You know what I mean? Faithful gonna be behind you, So that's all I
Even
gotta say about that.
even in the three losses that we had this year, that we didn't get blown out.
No,
Jimmy G did his thing. You know what I mean? So, it's ridiculous that what people think, and hopefully the Niners wake up and realize, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a script out of Terrell Owens. Okay, that's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback. You got to stick with your
hey,
quarterback, man.
you're not crying though, bro. You're not
No, I
crying though.
know,
Come
I
on,
know. I
that's
should. Yeah.
funny.
That's my
Yeah.
quarterback, man. You know what I mean? You,
Nah, yeah,
you,
yeah.
you gotta support your quarterback. You gotta support your team. You gotta support your front office. Like I said earlier before, not today, but in previous shows, you may not always agree with your management, but you gotta support them regardless, man,
All
because
right.
they are there. I mean, this is the 30-year that John Lynch, first time ever GM, first time head coach, and Kyle Shanahan,
Right.
and the 30-year out of their 6-year contract, and we already went to the Super Bowl. Now, keep this in mind, and I'm going to pass this to you guys. And I want to let you guys talk for a bit. When Harbaugh came in and took over, he took over a pretty good team, and yes, he took over the Navarro Bowman,
P. Willie.
the P. Willett, and all this Frank Gore and Vernon Davis and all this offensive line. He took over a good team and pushed it forward to the Super Bowl. When with Shanahan and John Lynch came, they dismantled the team and kept 2 to 3 players from the original team when they took over and took a brand new team. If you think about it, and the players that were in the 2012 Super Bowl to the 2019 were
Mm-hmm.
just 2 players. One
Yeah.
was active, which is Joe Staley, and then Saleh, which he was hurt. He didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 players on the roster from 2012 to 2019, and we got to the Super Bowl. So I just want the 49ers to understand, man. A whole new team put together by John Lynch, a first-time GM, and directed and guided by a first-time coach, and we get to the Super Bowl. Take it. We lost, but we got there. So there's a lot of promise to hold on to, man. There's a lot of hope. Niner faithful, stay plugged in, stay committed, man. Stay faithful to your team and your GM, man. But with that said, I'm gonna pass it over to Mike and then to you as well. I'm gonna go take a quick break. I'll be back. But when I get back, I wanna talk a little bit about the 2012 team and the 2019. I want to do a couple comparisons. If they played each other, and I brought this up to Mike earlier, if the 2012 team played against the 2019 team, who will win and why would they win? Based on matchups and positions, offense versus defense. So that's something for the viewers to kind of ponder on as I get back. But go ahead and take it over, Mike. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Cool, man. I got to chime in on this Garoppolo thing. I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't even thinking about to add on to all the stuff that you guys said. So, first and foremost, this SF stands for stay faithful, by
Yes,
the way.
sir.
You know what I mean? Let's get into it. So, Jimmy Garoppolo, our quarterback, I think fans forgot that he had several weeks where we were missing a couple offensive linemen. We were missing Juszczyk. We were
Mm-hmm.
missing George Kittle
Kittle.
a couple
Right.
weeks. So you're talking about 4 of your best blockers are out, and he's having
Right.
to play with backups and to adjust to that. And then you got your critics out there who are saying, well, it's because he had a great run game and a great defense. That's why he shined. Okay, so our backup quarterback Nick Mullins, if you put him out there for the entire season, does he go 13-3 with that same defense and same great running game? No,
Fortunately,
he
no.
doesn't. So we can. I will bet this San Francisco hat that Nick Mullins would have not went 13-3,
Yeah.
and I don't
No.
even bet, but I will do that just to prove a point. So
Yeah.
another valid point that people are dismissing. They want to talk about Garoppolo's performance in the Super Bowl. Last time I checked, the Super Bowl was not a 6-minute ball game. So
Right.
if we're going to look at the last 6 or 7 minutes of the game and
Game.
say, "Oh man, he did this," I guess we're dismissing the first 3 quarters that he played phenomenal. You know what I mean? And this is why I'm big on the O lineman, because that pass rush that they had with the Chiefs and other teams as well, with aggressive fronts like that with
Yeah.
Seattle, Kansas City,
So, yeah.
we short that side of that tackle, and we get it short up. We get it better. The guards, whatever. We just upgrade the O line. Period. I
Mhm.
don't think that he'll have that problem with being in the pocket, having to be under duress. I think he'll have a better pocket. We saw what Jimmy Garoppolo can do when he has a clean pocket. I mean, he's a stud. Like, I don't think we realize what we have right now. We're gonna have a great quarterback here. So,
Exactly.
you know,
I mean, you see it, I see
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate, like, you know what I'm saying. There's Niner fans and other people outside of that, the critics and stuff that don't see it. I mean, you want to just go, people outside of the faithful and stuff like that, like critics and stuff like, like the ESPN fools and whatever. They just want to look at highlights and stuff. They don't want to watch the games and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Jimmy Garoppolo was
right.
solid, bro. Like you were saying, the Super Bowl, 3 great quarters. You know what I mean? The last 6 minutes, that was, sad to say, it was on the D. You know what I mean? And there were times where we could have gone off that field, but for some reason they were able to convert. But that's neither here or there. But I'm just saying, like, Jimmy G isn't a problem. He isn't an issue. He showed that, coming back from a serious injury, he could ball out, and he's solid. You know
Yep.
what I mean? A 1 full year under Shanahan's offense, and then next season, you know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna be crazy with him because he knows the lingo, he knows everything. So it's like there's only way to go, and it's up. And with Jimmy G, I mean, that's where he's gonna take our team. He's gonna take our team to where it has, where it was last season, and maybe even more. So for people who want to discount Jimmy G because of Super Bowl or a few games here and there, like, yeah, you watch somebody else. You know what I mean? Because that's just ridiculous to me. Like, do you know our 3 losses last year wasn't even his fault. It was all on, like, two special team plays and the last second, defensive play. So it's like, for people just to rag on him and stuff like that. I mean, miss me with that, bro. He's so far, he's showing he's progressing and showing that he's worth that contract that he signed.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. And I mean, there were certain people talking about Nick Mullins for a while. It was crazy. I mean, they were, this is coming into the season because it was like it's a quarterback controversy. I don't know if many Niner fans recall that, but there was a lot of chatter about that. And I'm like, look, Nick Mullins, for the guy to come from the third string to evolve to the backup, hey, great for him. However,
Right.
there's a reason why Jimmy Garoppolo is our starter. Nick Mullins never won a road game last year. I'm gonna let that sink in, and I'm gonna say it again. Nick Mullins did not win a road game last year, and all
No.
the games he played, he had not one win. When he played against Seattle the first time, he had great stats and could not come away. And he also, passing stats, but he also had some interceptions.
That's
He
right.
didn't really play an overall collective game. Didn't score. You got like 400 passing yards and barely any touchdowns. It's not really a lot he did.
Right.
The
Excuse
second
me.
time we played Seattle, we beat them, but that was a hard, grit win from the team. So
Exactly.
the thing is, it's like you can't lose to like a pathetic New York Giants team last year. Beat the Raiders really good, and then win no road games, and tell me that guy should start over our starter. Like, nah, man. Nick Mullins, I respect what he's done. He's a member of our team, so I'm gonna root for him.
Right.
But it's insane to think that he should be starting over Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, nah. So
I thought that was that. I thought that was TMZ that reported that or something because I was like, really, there's a quarterback controversy between Garoppolo and Mullins. Mullins, like you said, came from literally the third, like practice squad third string to be the backup. Cool, and you know what? As a backup, he's great, bro. I feel comfortable with him as being a backup. If there's some reason Jimmy G misses a game or two, cool, we got Mullins. But Jimmy G's the dude. Jimmy G's our guy, and you know what I mean. Just we're just gonna ride with him. You know what I mean? And for anybody who can't deal with that, or I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? You gotta go root for another team, go to Las Vegas, go to whatever. But just know that Jimmy G's that dude, and he's gonna get us to where we need to get to. You know, and hopefully next year's be that Super Bowl, and we get that sixth ring. So
talking about Jimmy G, name me. I mean, besides Tom Brady, even Tom Brady didn't do that good last year. Name me quarterback other than what's the Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl. Name me quarterbacks that played last year that were better than the Jimmy G, or like blew Jimmy G's doors away. Not that you can't name that many.
no, I probably two quarterbacks, maybe one. I would say other than Mahomes, probably Lamar. That's about it. But other than that, like Rodgers on a decline, Breeze decline, Brady decline. You know what I mean? Like there's a few quarterbacks that I see that are better than Jimmy G. There's not that many.
Yeah, and Jimmy G's only getting better. He's young. He's going to continue to learn. He's going to continue to get better. People forget before Aaron Rodgers became Aaron Rodgers, he struggled his first 2 years taking over for
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, and then Peyton Manning. For great as he was, I think his first 3 years or first three seasons was terrible, especially in the interception column. His first season. So people need to realize. Look at Prescott. I don't think Prescott's better than Jimmy G personally.
Oh no,
And
no.
I hate the Cowboys, but that had nothing to do with my dislike of the Cowboys. I'm just comparing the two quarterbacks, and look at the money they're going to pay him eventually. And is he really better or way step up higher in everybody's opinion than Jimmy G? I don't think so. And we're going to find out when we play them this year. But they're going to play each other in Texas, and we're going to watch Jimmy G just blow his doors away. So, I like Jimmy G. I always have. I like him, especially since we traded for him. He became our quarterback and immediately became a supporter of him. Again, is there some bonehead plays that he made that I saw when I broke down the film? Like, Jimmy, what were you thinking? But it happens, man. Not everybody. And again, watching the game on TV when you're eating popcorn on your couch on your recliner, you can read the defense as much as like. I don't know about you, but I heard people say, "Didn't you see the receiver? What's the name was open? What's the name was open? Why did he throw? Listen, you're not under duress. The defenders, they're not coming into your living room and attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different story. You're trying to make a read on TV than it is that on the live action. Now, give and take. If he continues to make these mistakes, then that'll be a concerning to me. But I've seen Jimmy learn. I've seen Jimmy learn from his mistakes, and he's getting better. And then with Kyle at helm, man, those two guys, Batman and Robin, right there, man. And I would not want to separate that whatsoever. And I think 2020 is going to be a great year, especially if we do bring a receiver let's say we do draft CeeDee Lamb. Can you imagine CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Raheem Mostert? And then you throw in Jimmy Harvey, or you throw in
Trent Taylor,
or
if Dante's still on the Kendrick Bourne, if Dante's still on the team, if he gets his head out of his ass, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about defenses nightmares, man, mismatchups. Mm-hmm. So Kyle Shanahan is going to have an arsenal even more this year to play with. You know what I mean? Everybody was hard on. I don't know about you guys' thought on Kyle Shanahan, but the first year, everybody thought we had a bust in Kyle Shanahan. I'm like, listen, you can be the best play caller, but if you don't have the tools to call those plays, I don't care how good you are in your head. If you you can't transport that into the field. It doesn't matter. Now he has players. Now he has the chess pieces to play chess. And what I like about Kyle Shanahan, when the other coaches are playing checkers, he's playing chess, and he's doing plays that other coaches. Look at all the coaches that he out coached. Sean
Sean Payton.
Payton. He
Yeah.
outcoached. He almost outcoached Andy Reid. He There's a lot of coaches out there that he outcoached. Even everybody called out saying Sean McVay was the new head coach, the best coach, the best genius, and
Oh, yeah.
you give Shanahan the proper toys to play with, and look what he did in 2019.
Right.
Uh,
Well, no, oh no, I was gonna say like, and fans got to realize too is when if Shanahan and Lynch both you know if they signed like a 3 year deal, okay yeah, and he bombed out like he did, then okay yeah, but they both signed a 6 year deal, so you knew it was gonna take time, and all you wanted to see was progress,
yeah,
and that's what we got, and now look what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Like these guys signed a 6 year deal. They knew there wasn't going to be an overnight success type stuff. You had to build, like John List says, brick by brick. So that's what we had to do, and that's what we're doing, and we're just continuing to do that. So
I'll tell you one thing, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or disagree, but Niner fans, myself included, can be spoiled at times because of the great teams that we had in the past, the Jerry Rices, the Roger Craigs, the Joe Montana, Steve Youngs, the 5 Super Bowls. If I don't know about you guys, but coming into 2019, I didn't expect to make the Super Bowl. I definitely did not expect to. I wanted to win the division, but I wasn't expecting to win the division, in my personal opinion. Definitely did not think we were going to be the number one seed. And I definitely did not think that we were going to hit the Super Bowl because my goals were if we make it in the wild card game, I'm happy. If we win our first game, I'm happy. And all the expectations that I have, the Niners and Jimmy G and Kyle Shanahan super succeeded. Not only did we win the division, but we were the number one seed. Not only did we make the playoffs the first time after 7 years of hiatus, we go and we went to the championship game. We beat we won in the championship game, and we went to the Super Bowl. Okay, so we lost. It was a painful loss. It was, and everybody wants to crucify Jimmy for it. Everybody wants to crucify Kyle Shanahan for it. But let's be realistic. If we didn't make the Super Bowl last year, we would have made just the playoffs. And let's say we would have lost in the first round of the playoffs. A lot of us would have been like, man, okay, it sucked that we lost, but at least we got back to the playoffs. We have something to look forward to for the following year, correct? But yet,
I don't know, man.
your expectations a little bit higher.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think the 49ers fans, once we saw the potential of this team shift, like once I was saying this while you was out, you missed this part because
Okay.
I was telling Jason that while he was gone that all the criticism Garoppolo faced, people are failing to realize he sustained a winning record without his offensive line starters,
Okay.
with Juszczyk being out and Kittle being out
Kittle.
for some weeks. So he was able to sustain that with backups and still play at a high level, which was very impressive to me. So like all the criticism when people say he only won because he had a great run game and a great defense, I mean, he proved that with his best blockers out, he still can produce. So, but what I was gonna say was, I don't think that the Niner fans in general really had expectations until we started getting to the second half of the season. Like
Right.
I think in the first 8 games, we were okay with okay if we make the playoffs, cool, and we started getting excited week by week by week. And then when reality started coming in, once we beat the New Orleans and we were competitive against Baltimore, we were starting to look like, damn, we might have a Super Bowl team here.
Right, right,
So
right.
I think we transitioned into Super Bowl hype after we beat New Orleans. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And then I think we were really expecting to win at that point. But prior to that, I think we were optimistic but hopeful to make the playoffs. But once we beat New Orleans, I think we were like, we're gonna win this year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Like beginning of the season, I said 8-8. So I ain't gonna lie. Beginning
You
of the
see
season,
what I'm saying? And it,
I
it
said eight
changed
and eight,
each week.
and then
Yeah.
and then
Once we
Michael
start
said
going undefeated, it changed.
it changed. Right? Okay, yeah, we go undefeated. All right, cool. We winning some games, and then as soon as we hit New Orleans, and then we beat them in New Orleans the way we did, I was like, okay, no, we gotta go to Super Bowl. We gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And we did.
that's
And that's
exactly.
yeah. So
I
now I
think
feel
I
you.
think when we had those key wins against Seattle, New Orleans, and even the Rams in San
Mhm.
Francisco, I think those key wins right there kind of made us like, hey man, we can do this. And
Right.
we had our expectations went from we're hoping to make the playoffs to we're going to win the whole thing, just
Right.
like that. And then when if the expectations weren't set so high and we had lost to those games, but we barely made the playoffs, and we went to the Super Bowl still, I think that reaction, what you're saying, Beto, would be applicable. That fans would have been like, hey, next year we're coming back. But because we surpassed expectations so fast and so unexpectedly, I
Right.
think fans got a little over their heads and forgot this is his first year as a starter. We're still a couple pieces away and
Wait.
some experience away. We forgot we still got players on this team who never seen the playoff game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Majority of this team has never been to the playoffs.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
we got to think like we have a young team. We have most of our contributors haven't been in the league, but for a few seasons,
Yeah.
if that.
I think the only Sherman, Joe Staley
Staley, Sherman, those guys are veterans.
are the only
But
ones.
Garoppolo too. You know what I mean?
Well, as a
It'd be
backup.
but
oh, well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like
if you're talking about active games that these guys
oh
play,
yeah, he played,
Garoppolo would
yeah,
be considered a young guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He barely got a full season on his belt just now. So he
yeah,
even though he's been in the league for like 4 years, he's only played one full season. If
Yes.
you
right,
think about it.
He's a
And
rookie.
yeah,
then
you're right. Like Sherman,
you
Staley,
gotta think
yeah,
about Dre Greenlaw. You gotta think about George Kittle, a young guy. You gotta think about Fred Warner,
No,
Debo
Eric,
Samuel. Look
Eric
at all these
Armstead,
guys.
yeah,
Eric, Eric Armstead is
K1
really his first year
Alexander.
because he been
yeah,
hurt.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like you look at majority of our crew, this is their first real season for most of the team, and
Yeah.
they did this in
exactly.
one full season. And
Season, yeah,
again, Garoppolo played with backups for a stint, like for a stint of weeks, man,
yeah,
several weeks,
and I think
and he still produced.
Yep.
yeah, and I think when we got Sanders and he was meshing with Sanders, I think Sanders like missed a couple of games too, as well. So that was another thing
Yeah,
too. Like we missed him too. He was still, he was injured with like Kittle and Juszczyk and so yeah, it was, yeah. See, people don't want to like realize that, but it is what it is, I guess,
You
Yeah.
guys said that the turning point, and it was with with the New Orleans game, but I saw something. And I'll be honest with you, in that Ravens game, even though we lost,
Hmm.
I saw something in Garoppolo and our defense, and just the team as whole playing together for one another, man. To play that, because I mean, I think we would have if we would have been able to have that position, time clock wise, we would have won that game. And but a lot of us, like you said, in the beginning of the season, a lot of us had hope. We hoped for something, but our expectations weren't high. But after that Saints game, based on what we have seen already,
Hmm.
we became more hopeful, and our expectations went up, rightfully so, based on what we saw on the field. And now now you got players with experience. Now you got players that know how to get to the Super Bowl, know how it is to lose, hate
Hmm.
that taste in their mouth. You better down where that I don't know. I'm not a big vengeance guy, but I like that vengeance tour they're
Yeah,
using.
bro,
Uh,
we on this vengeance tour, bro. That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
they're motivated, and
Exactly.
they know how to get there, so they can get there again, and they know how it felt to lose.
Hmm.
Watching the confetti fall, and the other team celebrate, and I know that that's a taste that they're going to have in their mouth for quite a bit.
Right.
We felt bad as fans. Imagine them as players, and so I know that when they get back, and they will get back, they're going to have a different mentality, mindset. They're gonna play different. They're going to make different calls. They're going to do different things. And experience. We lost to a better team on that day, and a more experienced team, at least coach wise, with
Yeah.
Andy Reid, because he's been there before, lost, and a lot of people reference, well, Shanahan was in the Super Bowl a few years ago. I said, yes, he was, but he wasn't the head coach. He wasn't making the calls. He was just relaying the calls that were given to him as an offensive coordinator. Not the same to be an offensive coordinator and lose. It's a different story being a head coach. So um, I think the Niners are definitely in the right direction. They're going to be adding more pieces this year
Yeah.
to that arsenal. Yes, we lost someone. Um, like DeForest Buckner, and not to
Mhm.
get too much out of play and go back to what I wanted to go earlier about the teams, comparing the teams together. But a smart offensive team, a smart offense like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, makes the tough decisions they did with the DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
A lot of first GMs, they're too afraid to make a trade like that. They will hold on to a player and then
Mhm.
they'll actually lose the player to free agency and get nothing in return.
Or
They
they'll pay.
Go
Oh
ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead, Beto. Go ahead, go ahead. What you saying?
Well, I'll say they took they knew they were going to eventually lose out on him. He wanted too much money. They couldn't afford to pay him.
Right.
So they say, okay, well, we're not going to keep him further than next year. So why not get something in return? And they were able to get a 13th first round pick for him anyway. And then they were to cut the money that was owed to him and against this year's cap. So all that is signs of a smart, thinking ahead front office
Right.
that are young. And so all that Niner fans have to be faithful and excited that we have a smart team that is not willing to invest in the future. They're a team that are willing to make sacrifice so that we can continue to keep that window of a Super Bowl
Right.
open as much as we possibly can and try to get to that Super Bowl as many times as we can by making proper sacrifices. And you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
You can't keep everybody. It's not Madden. You can't keep everybody and
You
everything.
can't turn off that salary cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That cap is
yeah.
there. You know.
Or you
So
can't fakely make that salary cap as big as you want.
yeah, exactly.
The reality
Yeah.
is you got to make sacrifices. And people say, well, and people don't understand this. And I want you guys' thoughts on this. A lot of people always say, why did they choose Buckner over Eric Armstead? Eric Armstead is not a better player. And people don't need to realize what the move wasn't made because who was better.
Right.
The move was made was based on who wanted more money and who would hurt the team
Team.
in the future and
Exactly.
who wouldn't.
Right.
Hey man, do people understand that DeForest Buckner wanted more money? This
He.
wasn't Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch saying,
Nah.
"Hey, we think
Yeah.
Armstead is better."
Yeah,
Like, do people understand DeForest Buckner wanted more
More
money?
money.
As anybody who's looking for a opportunity to be more lucrative would do, right? It's DeForest Buckner
Right.
has responsibility to say, as a player, as good as I am on this team,
yeah.
you
Hmm.
can't pay me the money I want. I want out.
Yeah.
That's not John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan
Shanahan.
saying, I want you gone. That's DeForest Buckner saying, I want to get paid more, and since you can't do
Cause
that for me,
right. Because
you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure Shanahan and Lynch, if Buckner were to be like, okay, you just pay me 17 mil a year, done. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
what people don't realize, Jason, and I don't mean to cut you off.
no,
Apologize,
you get
but what people don't realize is in 2018, the start of the 2018 season, they offered him 18 million per
hmm
year, and DeForest Buckner turned it down. This is
right,
not about that. So people don't realize they tried to sign him up. They tried to fill him up, but he
hmm
didn't want them. They knew that he wanted a ballpark, which he is worth it by all means. Like Mike said, he's thinking about his family, his
right,
first contract, and more props to him. He deserves every penny he got. But
right,
the Niners knew that they could not afford to do that and stay within that Super Bowl window.
exactly.
They had to make a decision, and they made the best decision for the team.
Team, exactly. Because I don't know if people realize, if they were to give Buckner that 20 mil a year, okay, so how are we gonna sign Kittle back?
Yes.
How are we gonna sign Juice? You know what I mean? It was all. The people don't realize, like, okay, yeah, you sacrifice one player, but then again, you're able to bring back multiple players,
Yeah.
and that's the
Got
thing.
Jimmy
Like
Ward restructured,
Jimmy
got him
Ward,
back.
yeah, we were able, sign Juice, and then Kittle we could sign because, someone told me, like, Buckner's a good player, but Kittle's a game changer. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, And we were able to bring back, like Mike said, we were able to bring back Ward. So, and Ward had a great year last year. So, for me, it's just like, people don't, like, I was sad, yes, Buckner was a beast, but you also got to realize, like, it's not about Armstead being better than Buckner, because that's not it.
Uh,
Had a solid year, but he was also affordable. I want to say cheap. I don't want to say cheap,
no,
but he was
no. Affordable.
affordable,
Yeah.
more affordable than Buckner was.
Uh,
You know what I
uh,
mean? Shout out to Buckner.
on that note, just because you brought it up, on the Jimmy Ward, had a great year in 2019, right? prior to 2019, he's always hurt, couldn't play for
Mm-hmm.
shit, couldn't do
Right.
anything. Hopefully, listen to me, Solomon Thomas. I want you to be the 2019 Jimmy Ward player,
Right.
because the 2018 Jimmy Ward sucked. The 2019 Jimmy Ward was worthy of the contract that he got, well deserved.
Yeah.
And hopefully Thomas does that for 2020. But people need to realize that you're right. John Lynch did and Shawhan did what's best for the team
Mm-hmm.
to keep us in contention every year to win a Super Bowl. But with the kiddo, not only is Kittle going to demand a new contract, but as we all know, he is the best tight end in the NFL, even over Kelsey. So therefore, he's going to demand a lucrative contract
Yeah.
for tight ends. There's no standard right now for tight ends. Niners are going to have to make that standard, and so they're going to overpay him because he's worthy. But they got to show that he's worth a number one, and that's going to cost a lot of money. So they got to put all their eggs in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily in the Buckner's basket. As good as he was a top 5 D tackle, but knowing that we have DJ Jones, we have Solomon Thomas, we have
Ronald Blair coming back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we have all them coming back. And we have back rushers now with D Ford and Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead. We need to focus on our tight end, and then after that, we need to focus on. Eventually, we're going to focus on Nick Bosa. The way he played his first year, he's going to be a monster. And then look at the way Deebo Samuel played. All these players, as people really don't realize, you get a player that plays really good, everybody gets excited, right? Yeah, he's going to be a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what comes with that? And eventually,
that money, bro.
Contracts come with good players.
We got to get ready for Fred Warner too, bro. Like we got a lot of players.
Fred Warner.
They're not thinking about, man. That's coming up soon, man. Like we gonna have some guys that's gonna break out even more, man. Like we got some young guys back in the secondary might be coming out that you like, damn, you know. I mean, look at Raheem Mostert, man. You know, he gonna come out if he had that type of season again. You know what I'm saying?
But
that guy's gonna require some stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
But So anyway, you know what? I did say that when I got back that we were going to kind of
let's get into it.
What I was going to say that I said that, but if you guys don't mind and work with me, I rather move that to Friday show.
All right, cool.
And keep the fans kind of waiting for it. We can talk a little about other things and we can finish up tonight. That way we don't have to cut nothing short, and we can move it to the Friday show. And then we can extend it on Friday, and we can definitely talk more about the players of the 2012 versus the players of the 2019, from coach to coach, from position to position, quarterback to quarterback. Jimmy G versus Kaepernick, and what Kaepernick was able to do with his feet. What Jimmy G or receivers, tight ends was number 85, Anthony. Davis,
Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis, yes.
VD,
6th-round pick, better than a 5th-round pick. I mean, not a 6th-round pick, a 6th overall.
6th overall, yeah.
A 1st-round pick, 85 over a 5th-round pick. George Kittle. Those are the things that I would love to break down, and it gives you guys a little bit more chance to do your homework a little bit on that. And we'll bring that back on Friday. So if you guys don't mind, instead of trying to rush through it tonight. Being that we've been on here for a while and it is getting late.
Give them a sneak peek. We'll bring it back Friday for sure.
That little preview, you know what I'm saying?
Give the fan base something to hold on to.
Yes,
look
sir.
forward to coming back on Friday. And hopefully, Jason, you're available for that show.
Yeah.
And able to come back and shine. And you did great, man, for your first time on here.
Man.
I appreciate you, man.
Man, thank you, brothers, for having me, man. Is that as a fan of watching it, you know what I'm saying, a few episodes and stuff like that, man, it's definitely cool to be on with y'all, talk Niner football with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I will be honest, we're not looking for no geniuses in the show, but we're looking for and truth be told, we're looking for people that can hold their own head and enough of football knowledge that can continue to carry forth. There might be a night that I need you to run the whole show by yourself. So, with that said, I know me and Mr. Florida Mike and the Boston Inner spoke that we definitely want a team that we can depend on each other and make sure that we can all run it if we have to run it. There's times that Mike
Okay.
runs by himself. There's times by myself. There's times that Boston run it by himself. So we enjoy I enjoy what I saw tonight in you, man,
Cool.
and
Appreciate it. Thank you.
To shows with you, man, and get a bit more feel of you. But definitely, you look comfortable on the camera, man. So that's a key right there. What's your thoughts on Jason, Florida, Mike?
I mean, well, he's already a Niner fan, so to me, he's already great.
Yeah.
So yeah, great job, man. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys, man.
We don't really come out here with all the ESPN rhetoric. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have no script. I ain't got no cue card and some moderator that look hot and don't know what the hell she talking about.
So
Just sitting still.
Right.
You know.
Hey, but I do want to shout out though Colin Cowherd though. He's the only one that I've watched that's always given us love throughout the whole season though. You know what I mean? Talking about we the team on the rise. We're gonna be that squad. We're young and hungry. Blah blah. But
who's that?
You know, Colin Cowherd. He's on he's on FS1. So
I don't know who he is. I thought you said
yeah.
I said Colin Kaepernick. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Oh, my bad.
that's
Colin
right.
Cowherd. Yeah, he's one of the few sports guys, the critics that I kind of like. Okay, he's cool because
he called us a dark horse in 2019, and we were that dark horse.
In 2018, he called it. In 2018 before Jimmy's injury and everything like that. He was the one that was telling that we were gonna make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So he's just the dude that had our back. So just
yeah, he's all right.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's better than the other guys. But no, I hear you.
Yeah. But anyways,
ain't nobody better than us, man. They're true Niners.
Hell no.
That we love.
Faithful,
we our Niners, man, and like when I said when I started the show, they may not like everything we say, but we keep it non-biased and we keep it real.
Right.
We speak from our hearts, man. No biases. And so, real quick before we close, and what do you guys think about the signing of Allen Smith to the Cowboys?
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, he's on the right team. They known for getting guys that have problems outside of the field and then signing them. He's on the right team, so let's see how productive and how long he can stay with them. I mean,
right.
What's
up?
As long as Prescott doesn't mess with his girlfriend, it should be okay.
For me, okay, I guess I'm gonna be the only one that gonna say something nice about Alden. No, playing, but I just want to say, he's with that other team over there in Texas, but he was a Niner, and younger me would have been like, screw him, but he got signed. Let's see if he got his act together. Just just positive things for him. You know what I'm saying? So
overall, as a human being, I do wish him the best. I hate the Cowboys. I will always hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I won't mention them.
But as a human being, put football aside. If he got his life together and he's stopped drinking and he's working together to make his life better, I wish him the best. And if he takes off, even if it's with the stupid Cowboys, as long as it's not against us, on that I wish him nothing but the best.
We played them this year, right?
Yes, we did.
Yes, sir. So McGlinchey's gonna handle him. You know what I mean? So he's good.
Jerry is a world, man. So we'll bring it back on next Friday, guys. And we'll definitely talk about those two teams, the 2012 and 2019, and then I look forward and doing a couple of shows, man. And maybe we can do a 32 draft pick, and we can give our opinion on all 32 teams before the draft, and let's see who's getting picked, and give a little bit of a breakdown just to make the show a little bit more interesting.
No, man, it's good. It's good to be on with y'all, brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again.
There's a boy. There's finally, Mr. Dawson showed up. Alden Smith, Jack will sleep with his girl.
Well, we'll see about that.
Crazy Boston hater, man.
Hey, man, all the fans out there, man.
We're training for
y'all got to stop watching these people, man. I'm for real, bro. Like y'all let these people play with y'all emotions. Y'all got to understand how media work, man. For real, they got the nice looking girl, who I just feel like they don't really bring her on because she knows what she's talking about. They bring her on to get that appeal, that look,
Mm-hmm.
because she's out. You ain't never seen no busted girl on them shows, right?
It works
You know
for
what I'm
you though.
saying?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just being like, I ain't watched them shows, bro. Believe it or not, I ain't watched them
Mm-hmm.
shows. I'm like preseason. I don't watch them. I don't watch preseason. I don't watch these talking heads. You know,
Right,
I
right.
hear more about them from people on these shows like this than I do actually watch. I don't watch them. So for me
Gotcha.
to know about them,
Right,
they
right,
have to
right.
be in my vicinity of a show like this. And when I hear y'all talk about them, that's my knowledge and awareness of them. Outside of that, I don't know nothing about them. I
No,
really don't. I don't watch them.
No,
I
I hear you.
got you,
I hear you.
bro. I feel
Yeah,
you, bro.
my boy
Yeah,
Florida Mike
man.
and the Boston Haters, they're not preseason guys. They don't watch preseason. They don't watch practice. I don't know about you, Jason, but I love watching preseason. I like to watch players coming out of college.
For me, yeah. I mean, preseason, I watch it. Like, I'm like the majority out of my boys. Like, I'm the only one that watches it. Just the fact that, I watch the draft and I watch where rookies go and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, I want to see
Well,
how
I
these
watch
rookies are. So
I watched the Senior Bowl.
yeah, okay. See, I don't go all that now. I do watch the draft, but I do watch preseason and stuff, and to see how these rookies progress and stuff, and how if they're gonna make the team or not. And I come down with my own little breakdown, and like just watching like, oh, that's the dude that got picked in the 6th round. Okay, cool. Watch him play, So yeah, I mean, to me, it's just preseason and all that. That's just me. So
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what, though? That's what gives it flavor, man. If you want to make a good stew, man, you got to put a different type of seasonings into that pot, man. So whenever you get different people that bring in their own taste and flavor, man, it just makes it for a good show. So
yes, sir.
diversity is always great, man. So especially when we have our Boston hater on there, me and him, we love to go at it, man. He's always
Oh man.
correcting. He's
It's-
always how in Florida, Mike. Uh, there's not one. Sometimes I can't make a comment without him correcting me, but it's all good though. That's what gives a flavor to the show, man. So sometimes I throw curveballs, man. I kind of like to poke him on the side, so I'll throw like tonight. I overheard that we're trading Kyle Shanahan for Belichick. Um, for Belichick. But
oh man.
April Fools, maybe
Yeah.
that was my love, man. But anyway, you guys have been great. For those that have been watching, man, once again, thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Thank
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe
yes,
to the
sir.
channel, hit the notification bell so you will be notified each and every time we go live. We're going live on Friday. We're going to continue our talk about the two teams, the 2012 Super Bowl team against the 2019 Super Bowl team. Who would win if they played each other, man? So cannot wait until Friday. See you guys, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you guys, man. Thank you guys. Thanks for everybody
Bang
watching.
bang, nana gang.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And bang none again. Peace. God bless everyone. Stay
God
safe.
bless. Yeah, stay safe.